There are many scholarships in 2025. And if you've been applying to scholarships since January or any time later in 2025 and you've not succeeded, please do not give up hope. Please do not give up hope. There are still many scholarships that are currently available, including the one I'm going to talk about in this video. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a step-by-step guide on how to secure this scholarship. I want you to study on a fully funded scholarship. It is possible, even if you're not a typical best student. My name is Brendo. I am a PhD student and I received two full scholarships for my PhD study, even though I am not the typical best. And that is one of the reasons, that is one of my motivation to encourage people to apply to scholarship. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Trust me, you can get this fully funded scholarship. The one I'm going to talk about today is from the Republic of Ireland. Now, this is the Republic of Ireland Postgraduate Research Scholarship. Now, it covers Masters by Research and covers PhD scholarship. And I think it is the most generous scholarship I've seen in Europe, especially for PhD. Covers your full scholarship, covers your stipend, your living expenses, and also other discounts. It is really good. And I want to say, I think it is the most generous scholarship. If you're interested in scholarship videos, please remember to like this video, remember to subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that whenever I make any scholarship video, you'll be one of those to know early enough. Now, let's talk about the scholarship in detail. I'm going to show you a step-by-step guide on how to apply to the scholarship. So come with me. All right, so here we have the Government of Ireland Postgraduate Scholarship Program. The deadline for this is 23rd of October 2025. Supervisor deadline is 6th of November, and the research office deadline is 13th of November 2025. So please remember, you do not work by this deadline. Submit your application early enough. Contact the supervisor early enough. 23rd of October is already late. It's around the corner. Okay, now you can read up on this side. I'm going to leave a link in the description for you to come to this page so that you can read up on this. But very important, please take note, very important, you should read the core document. That is one way you become intentional, and that is one way you become deliberate in the application. So for you to be intentional and deliberate, please read the core document. This is the core document. I'm not applying to this scholarship, but I've read the document and I'm doing that just so you know that it is important. For example, you need to look at the eligibility section. It tells you what qualifies or disqualifies others for this scholarship. For example, you must be affiliated with an eligible research body, and we'll see the different research bodies, which are basically universities and other research organizations. There are no age limit for this particular application, and you only have one supervisor to one applicant, which means you want to hurry to send as many and contact as many supervisors as possible. There are other things that would make your application ineligible, so you want to also read up on this. I thought that something interesting, and I want to draw your attention to this, is on Appendix 2. Now, if you check Appendix 2, it tells you the rubrics on your how your application will be assessed. First one would be the applicant. You'll be assessed out of 40, and these are the things we want to see. The match between the applicant profile and the proposed research project. We want to see track record and research potential of the applicant, evidence of independent thinking. So you want to be sure your application really matches this. The second thing we want to look at is your project marks, that is your research project, your research proposal. It's going to be graded out of 40. The clarity and coherence, the quality of the proposed research design, the plans for dissemination, and particularly, does the application directly align with the strategic funding partner's theme and priorities? Now, this is crucial. Another thing you'll be assessed on would be the maximum training and career development marks. That is over 10. Here we'll be looking at clarity of thought as to how the scholarship will impact the applicant's career path. So that should be specific in your research proposal. And finally, maximum environmental marks. Now, while going through this document, I found this part and I think it is crucial that you look at this part and grade this. I'm going to give you a useful tip. The tip is, just as we've looked at the rubrics on how your application would be assessed, particularly for your research proposal, I think what I would recommend you to do is ethically use AI. Now let's mention ChatGPT. So look at your research proposal upload it to ChatGPT and ask it to grade your proposal out of 40 based on the rubrics given for the proposal section and see what you score out of 40. If you score anything less than 32 or 33, just make sure to improve on your research proposal. But sometimes you might need someone like an expert in the field. If you really want that one-to-one guidance, I'm happy to assist you. Now let's jump back right into the video. Now let's look at all that part of the document. So remember, going through the document is key. Going through the document is key. All right. Now let's look at something else. All your application has to start from here. Once again, the call documentation is important for 2026. And once again, it's still the same. To apply, you have to click on apply here. If you click on apply here, it brings you to this part. It brings you here. So your application has to be done through this part. If you're a new user, you'd have to register here and then you'll be given an email and password or register with your email and password to do that. You know how to do that and then you fill out the details. But then there is a guide on the application. Okay, so coming back to this, remember the core document important for you to read it. Now, the strategic partners are these. If you want to read up, you can do that. What this scholarship offers, a stipend of 25 grand. Well, the total is 34,000 euros per annum, which I think is very generous. A stipend of 25 per annum and a contribution towards fees, and an additional one if you're a non-EU student. And you also get eligible direct course of 3,250 per annum. The key date again, remember, 23rd of October is the deadline. However, because you also need feedback from your supervisor, please submit early. In fact, if you can submit within a week today, please do that. I would give you a step-by-step guide on what to do, an action plan. Okay. And how do you apply? Well, we're going to look at how to apply. There are documents for you to download. The indicative application form, I'm going to show you what that is like. Okay. So if you will come here and you click on the indicative forms, you find the applicant form. Now the applicant form and supervisor form ask some question revolving around the eligibility criteria. So for example, this is the applicant's form and some questions here involve, do you have a first class or upper second class honors degree? Do you have a bachelor's degree and other questions like that? So fill it. There are parts where you have to write some essays. Just go ahead and do that and always give your best shot for everything. Please give your best shot for everything. Now, this part is for the supervisor and the supervisor will fill in the necessary details and also answer some questions. So remember, like I said, if you click on apply, it takes you to this where you can submit apply. But what are the eligible higher education institution and research organization? Now, the eligible institutions are these. Now you can see that these are top universities like Dublin City University, you see Trinity College Dublin, you find the Royal Irish Academy, the National College of Art and Design. These are big universities. In fact, there is also MTU, which is the Monster Technology University, and we're going to review how to look at these schools. Okay. All right. Now, for example, if you look at MTU, MTU has a Masters by Research portal. So you can see the Masters by Research here. This guides you on how to, but of course, you do not need to submit an application to the university first. All application will be through the portal that I told you earlier. But this is just to show you that MTU has Masters by Research if you want to do Masters by Research program. I think the other one here I have is DCU. Let me just double check the meaning of DCU again. DCU is Dublin City University, and for Dublin City University, you can write for PhD work. Now, the reason I am opening this site is so you can contact the supervisor. So go to the site and find out how you can get a supervisor. For example, for Dublin City University, you can click on Find the Supervisor. That should bring you to this page. And on this page, on Finding a Supervisor, it gives you guide on what to do to find a supervisor and how you should contact the supervisor. On my YouTube channel, I have a detailed guide on how to contact the supervisor. I'm going to leave a link in the description so you find out how to contact a supervisor. And now your PhD proposal must really stand out, please. And I think it's important to mention something significant here. It is important for you to know how to contact a supervisor and how to write a research proposal. If you've never written a research proposal, trust me, I know it can be very daunting. You can go online to check how to write a research proposal. I have a video on my channel. I'm going to leave a link in the description on how to write a research proposal, step-by-step guide. If you want me to assist you with that, please let me know in the comment section, or you can book a one-to-one meeting. Let's do that together. In contacting a supervisor, this is very key. A lot of people say you contact supervisors and you do not get responses from them. That is understandable if your cold email approach is mass. That is, you simply use the same format for everybody without changing anything. Your cold emails has to be personalized. You need to read the work of the supervisors, you need to comment on their work, and you need to demonstrate that their research interest aligns with yours, particularly for your research proposal. You must have read some of their proposals, like their publications, I beg your pardon. So remember, like I said, if you need assistance, please let me know. I am happy to help. All right, so now let's go forward. So remember, approach your potential supervisor and then your PhD proposal. And if you do that, well, how do you find this person? So when you click here on information on faculty research contacts, it brings you to this path. And here you can click on the different faculties. If you're looking for a PhD or Master's by Research, click on the different faculty. And on the different faculty, you find the members there in the faculty. For example, these ones are the main point of contact in each faculty. But there's also another part where you can contact each individual. So, for example, on this list, this is for the School of Applied Language and Intercultural Studies. So, if this is your field, you can do that. If this is not your field, you can check other faculties and then just reach out to them. Make sure in checking out anyone, please, 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 make sure to look at their publication. You want to comment on their work, look at the publication they have, look at them, the things they've done, their biography and other things. Okay, so for example, if we come to Vicent and look at Vicent, now this is Dr. Vicent. All right, now for Dr. Vicent, you want to look at what he has done, and more importantly, we want to look at his publications. And you can see 2024, 2023, and you can see some of his publications. So if this aligns with your research interest, please go ahead and do this. Remember, once again, you have to fill in the application form. You have to also send this to the supervisor to fill. And when all of that is done, you can then go ahead to submit this application. Although the deadline says 23rd of October, please, you do not have any time. The earlier, the better. So there you have it. I am happy to assist you if you need any guidance. But remember, do not give up on applying to scholarship. You need one. You need one fully funded scholarship. And if you taste fully funded scholarship, like I am experiencing it right now, you would not want to go back to paid education. So let me know how you think I can help. And if you find this video informative, please remember to like the video and remember to subscribe. Let other people know about this channel. And I want to say all the best in your scholarship application.